It's one of the most amazing things. You take a woman who is unattractive, and she's playing unattractive, with a weird personality and a bad voice, and for some odd reason, you're like, there is so much life in this character that I think I'm attracted to her.
Wow.
It's the craziest thing that you've ever seen. Unfortunately, it's like half a great movie. When she's on, it's a great movie. When they kind of cut it away, so you're seeing two different movies. The other one I didn't care for as much. But Meryl Streep is just absolutely phenomenal.
Well, she's incredible, and we can go back to adaptation.
Phenomenal in that.
She's unbelievable.
So sexy, too.
Absolutely.
Again, middle-aged sexy.
And you know how my opinions of Prairie Home Companion, I felt she was the best part.
So sexy in that, too.
Very sexy, and definitely the highlight of that film. I happen to love that movie. I know you don't, but I think she is amazing.
I agreed with you on it, though. I loved her part in it. I loved her and Lily Tomlin together.
The chemistry was unbelievable. And it's like she does stuff like that, which is pretty fun. She's trying to be funny and witty with Lily Tomlin. That's not exactly easy to do. And then she goes on stage and sings when there are actual, real singers in that movie, and she does a great job with that. She can basically do anything she wants.
Her Prada performance this decade was fantastic.
Again, and not a great movie, but when she is on screen, you're like, that's really fucking cool. And again, there's a woman you're not supposed to be attracted to.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you're like, yeah, I definitely would be.
And
with
I'm
her.
getting the screener of her new movie with Alec Baldwin and Steve Martin this weekend.
Oh, yeah, it should be great.
So hopefully that's going to be great.
The
I'm
Nora
sure it
Ephron
is.
film.
Yeah.
It's complicated. Complicated.
That's what I'm going to see.
Charlie Kaufman, I already brought up as being the writer of the decade. The AFI, all the screenwriters got together. His 3 films from this decade made the greatest of the 100 of all-time greatest screenplays. So he's written like 4 screenplays and has 3% of the all-time greatest screenplay. But what about director for you, Fez? Who was the director of this decade?
You know what? It's gonna sound 90s, but I'm gonna go with Quentin Tarantino again. With the Kill Bills and Inglourious Bastards, I thought that was just, that's an excellent run. And I love the Grindhouse stuff. I love Death Proof. I haven't been that scared in a movie in forever.
You know how, when I was that scared?
When?
Harvey Milk. I was just thinking, what if this spreads? What if they keep going? I'm going to go over with the person that got mentioned by Dave earlier. And I'll put this with Meryl Streep of, this person should not be getting better. Clint Eastwood.
Oh, God.
Clint Eastwood is... No, let's face it. He's elderly. He's elderly.
Yeah.
And has been a star, TV or movies, since the late 50s. And he's doing the flat-out best films of this decade, doing the best work of his life, and they're coming fast and furious.
Right.
Go over the films that he directed in this past decade. It's insane when you start to look at it.
Well, I mean, he has $1 Million Baby. He, of course, has Mystic River. He had Flags of Our Fathers. These are all ridiculous films.
Then the Japanese version of that.
The Iwo Jima thing.
And now has the South African film this week.
Yes.
So
and he did the soundtrack for, like, Mystic River and stuff like that.
So really, these other... younger directors should be ashamed of themselves. They should absolutely sit there and be flat out ashamed of themselves.
Changeling and Gran Torino, all in this decade,
and
as director.
Yeah, he's popping them out like he was Woody Allen, one after another.
How do you do that? He did Changeling and Gran Torino in the same year. What?
What about for you, Hicks?
Sense.
My pick seems pussy compared to fucking Clint Eastwood, but I'll say Wes Anderson, even though, I mean, he's had
you have
3
such
films.
a love for this
I
man.
love that man, yeah. Come on.
I never even thought he was that much of a Wes Anderson guy. This is brand new.
You don't care, Dave.
Seriously, you need to be paying better attention to him.
I always offer to bring in a Wes Anderson movie for our Friday, just when we lounge around, but he never wants to.
You guys like to sit and drink and watch a film together?
Sometimes.
That's embarrassing.
Where, here?
Yeah, that's something two men shouldn't do together. So you sit in the office, you drink, and you watch a movie?
Well, yeah, after I'm finishing off the work that I had to do, like pulling live reads for the Ron Fez show, and I'll put on, like last Friday was King of Comedy. And yeah, if there is a little bit of Jameson or something like that, maybe that gets tapped into. Now, Mr. B, if you're coming to me, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
And that is, I guess technically you would say Joel Coen, but come on, I think we can all say the Coen brothers.
Sure.
Of that decade. Let's
go over.
Okay, it started with Oh Brother, Where Art Thou, which
Great
I love.
film.
The Man Who Wasn't There, which is a forgotten movie. Okay, you're not going to like The Lady Killers. But then No Country for Old Men, classic, top 10 of the decade. Burn After Reading, I love, and Serious Man I thought was really good. So they had a couple missteps.
They're very, very strong.
Yeah, that's great, and that's pretty prolific too. That's a shitload of movies. Most of it is A-grade stuff.
Blows away Fez's 3.5 films. Actually, I'm only teasing Fez. I think Death Proof is a full movie.
It is. That's true.
Although when she's not on the front of the car, I'm not as excited as I am the rest of the time.
I'd be curious to know which Kill Bill Fez prefers.
Oh, I liked Volume 1.
See, I'm a distinct Volume 2 guy, and Volume 2 would make my top 10.
Volume 2, based on the death speech alone. The Bill death speech is maybe the best monologue that took place in the last 10 years. That's a
great whole sequence of events.
When you have him sitting down explaining the Clark Kent Superman thing, and then getting into the metaphor behind the heart
I love it. And you know what, distinguishes Tarantino from a Tarantino ripoff is that people forget he's doing that monologue because he has to buy a few minutes while the truth serum kicks in. Other directors, they'll go into a pop culture, laced fucking dialogue, and it doesn't make any sense. You're like, the guys are running away, and they're going to give you a Silver Surfer, reference or something like that. So it takes me out of the movie when it's not Tarantino. Tarantino, there's always a reason. There's always two hitmen trying to relate to each other, or in that way, this is the truth serum has to kick in, so let me tell you some shit. And that's what he does.
That's why I'm always a bigger fan of the writer-directors. And he has that for me, that he could take the time to tell that story and tell it properly.
Right.
Where I think that if you wrote that and let somebody else shoot it, it doesn't always come across.
That makes total sense, because the director's not really feeling what you wrote. They might not understand that your little pop culture thing is really actually a quite good metaphor.
All right, that's about it for this hour. As you can tell, we all love film.
We love movies.
And that means Fez, too. I want you guys to look at him.
Yeah.
Yes, I know he picked Harvey Milk and Batman. Neither one is surprised, but he puts it out there. But the films that he does love, he watches that Batman twice a day, every day.
Now, you have Taxi Driver in your possession.
It's there somewhere. You loaned it to me. I know it's there somewhere.
I mean, I know this isn't the 70s countdown show. So I guess it's, But please, just watch it. Will ya?
I'll watch it before we do the 2020 review.
Why don't we do this? Why don't we come back? We'll play the best of for you here today, the best of Ron and Fez. And please enjoy your Christmas vacation. But tomorrow, we'll be back with the best and worst in television. Television. The smaller rectangle that you keep in your home. Television. So enjoy the best stuff. You know what we're going to be listening to, or is it just going to be something fun and terrific?
It's going to be terrific and fun and great.
Oh, and
terrific,
great.
Fun, and great?
Yeah, all three.
So it can't be ours. It's got to be from a different show.
No, it's Ron Fez, classic stuff.
I hope somebody's just getting new radios and go, what do these guys just sit talk movies constantly? An hour went by. An hour went by and they were discussing. Yeah,
big deal.
Yeah, here's the thing that you got to understand: we do what we want. That's it. That's the lucky thing about satellite. We do exactly what we want.